Hey, good morning. It's Charles Folkart on February 24th, 2004. I was going to say 14. It's 2017. And this is another update, and I think it's number 11, maybe number 10 on Google Flat Earth alerts are junk mail and spam. The last alert I did earlier in the week, I asked the question, how is Neil deGrasse Tyson going to respond to the flat earth going mainstream? So here we have a response, and I'm going to get to that here in a moment. But I want to make the point that anything that gets on Talmud vision is controlled. If they don't want it on television programming, if they don't want it included in their television programming, it's not going to be there. It's going to be removed if it's a mistake or somebody says something, they're going to remove it. So we have what I am going to label controlled opposition now. The flat earth idea is going mainstream, and so the powers that be, they want to get control of it, and they want to keep it under control as much as they possibly can. So it wouldn't surprise me if these people, and I don't watch basketball, and I don't watch these other programs. I don't have TV, so I don't really know who these people are, but they are pretty important people in some areas, NBA basketball, for all those people who watch basketball. So when Kyrie Irving comes out as talking about flat earth, it's going mainstream. And we have to ask ourselves, now, why? There's 5 questions. I think it's 5, maybe 6. Who, what, where, when, how, and why. And if you ask yourself those questions when these kind of things occur, these events occur, and you answer them, you'll come up with a lot of good information. So this Google alert a couple hours ago is only 3, and I'm going to show you why that's important here in a moment. But we're being mocked. Flat earthers, serious flat earth thinkers, are being mocked. And I brought that up before. They mock us. And they are actually giving the truth out. Last time it was that guy B.o.B, or he's the rapper, B.o.B, or I call him B.o.B. His name is Bob, I guess. I don't know. Then there was that ex-porn actress, Tila Tequila. And then we had recently the wrestler. See, that's all fake. Who's going to give serious attention or serious thought to these people that are coming out flat earth? Now, there's a lot of other people coming out flat earth, but you're not going to hear those on Talmud vision. They're not going to let those on. They're not going to interview anybody who can articulate the reason they believe and they think the earth is stationary and non-spinning. But you're not going to get that. So they're going to bring out these people, these well-known individuals, and these well-known individuals are going to be used to mock people who believe in and who think the earth is flat. And I'm going to give you an example here with this very first Neil deGrasse Tyson responds to Kyrie Irving's flat earth claims. So let's go have a look at that, shall we? But before we go there, this is an edit, an insert. After I got to that point, I wanted to put this in here. I talked to a medical surgeon the other day, and I mentioned the earth was level plane, and of course he's still a blue pillar. So he he didn't agree with me, and I know what he's thinking, that, you know, Charles is a pretty nice guy maybe, but he's a nut. He's got some really weird conspiracy theories. And see, that's why they're bringing out the porn guy, the porn lady, the rapper, the basketball players, the wrestlers, because this fellow that I talked to, that's what he's going to see, because he's not a red pillar. He doesn't spend any time searching the internet like the people who have taken the red pill, if you want to put it in those terms. And so this is what he's going to get. He's going to get the scientists, these people in authority that actually have a PhD and actually supposed to know what they're talking about. And he's in the system. He's a surgeon. He's going to slice and stitch you. He's not going to give you natural remedies. He's in the system. He makes thousands of dollars every time he does a surgery, and the hospital he works for makes a lot of money. And you come in, he wants to slice and stitch you, and so he's not going to rock the boat. This is a system that's making a lot of money off of ignorant people. And this spinning spear system of all the scientists and the PhDs and the money they rake in, $20 billion a year in NASA alone, and all the missiles and all, you know, all this system that's created on an illusionary realm in television programming and the fake news is a system, is an edifice that they don't want to fall apart. And they're going to do everything they possibly can until the very last minute to keep it up. And then probably they're going to collapse the whole damn thing. And there's going to be chaos like you've never seen before, which they're creating. And so it's not going to matter, because there's going to be other things that are more important, like your survival. So my surgeon friend, this is what he gets. He gets Neil deGrasse Tyson and the Rolling Stone and the interviews that he sees, because he comes home after a hard day of slice and stitch. He wants to relax, and maybe he watches basketball, and he gets this stuff. Okay, I think you understand what I'm saying, folks. We live in two worlds here: the real world and the illusionary world, created by the corporations, the 5 or 6 corporations that control 95% of the television programming that's out there. And these people here we see on the screen are well paid to tell people what these corporations want them to believe. And for the most part, most people believe it. They're just not free thinkers. They're not critical thinkers. So they're going to go with this. And they're going to go with it until it's so obvious that and the tide changes and the pendulum swings and the critical mass is achieved. And we're not there yet. I made my point, I hope. Let's go on. So here we are. We're on the Rolling Stone, which is a junk source as far as I'm concerned. And the headline is, Neil deGrasse Tyson responds to Kyrie Irving's flat earth claims. And then right here, world's most famous astrophysicist corrects NBA superstars' claims. So here it is, appeal to authority right off the bat. He's going to correct the NBA superstars' claim for the benefit of everyone else. And there we got the two pictures. And of course he's in the tie and he's all well dressed up. And here's the Cavalier with the tattoos. And he's a black guy. There's two black guys here. And so here we are. I'm not going to read the first part, but here's what I want to get to. Now it's time for Neil deGrasse Tyson, a man who is named one of the 10 most influential people in science. See there again, It's an appeal to authority. So he's going to, Tyson is going to be used to correct and put the NBA, who doesn't know anything about science. He's a basketball player, right? He bounces the ball on a court and makes a lot of money. So what does he know about science, right? And then here's Mr. Tyson. He's not going to address the facts of the flat earth. He's not going to address the claims of the flat earthers, but he's going to talk about this basketball player's right to believe what he wants to believe, right? We don't really have that freedom. He says we do. You try to be a creationist teacher in a public high school today, and you try to teach creation in public high school or public school, and you're out. You're looking for a new job. Okay, that's one of the reasons that nobody in a public school setting is going to come out in support of the flat earth, be it a high school or a university, because they'd be down the road, they'd be mocked, there would be so much pressure put on them that they're just not going to rock the boat. They're going to stay under the radar. They may personally believe it themselves. They may be looking into it now, but they're not. It's not the time for them to come out in public and in agreement with the flat earth theory. And Tyson goes on, let me be blunt. We live in a free country, so you ought to be able to think and say whatever you want. We don't. We can't. You can't. PC-ness has taken over our country. That's starting to break up, but come on, we don't live in a free country, folks. If he wants to think Earth is flat, go right ahead with this condition. As long as he continues to play basketball and not become head of any space agencies. See, you stick to your bouncing a ball and jumping in the air and hanging on a basket and making points for the scoreboard for all the fans who like to watch that game. And that's another class of people there, see. And it's not the intellectuals for the most part. So he's saying, you stick to what you do, and us scientists, us high priests of scientism who believe in evolution from Big Bang to amoeba to frog to fish to monkey to man. That's our realm. We're going to tell you how it is in the science field, and you continue to play basketball. My point is, he says, is if you have certain limitations of understanding of the natural world. In other words, when I look up at the sun and the sun doesn't look 93 million miles away to me, I'm to turn to Neil deGrasse Tyson and he tells me it's 93 million miles away because I have certain limitations of understanding of the natural world. So I shouldn't believe what I actually see in the natural world. I should believe him. I shouldn't look around and see all the intelligent design that went into creation. The birds fly, the different species, the fish swim and breathe underwater, and all the different millions of different species. I have to believe Neil deGrasse Tyson and other scientists because they know I have a limited understanding of the natural world. So I should stay away from that field and I should just do my construction job or my real estate development or my welding. Leave that to the scientists. There's the appeal to authority then. Tyson then, and then here we go on the mocking. Tyson then suggested we launch everyone who is on the same page as Irving into space and only allow them back once they all agree that they were wrong. See, ha ha ha, you're so stupid. Why don't we get you on a Star Trek type spacecraft, and we'll fly you up into space, and we'll show you that the sun is really 93 million miles away, and that the moon is actually 200. They can't do that, but they have to continue the propaganda, and Neil deGrasse Tyson is paid to continue the propaganda. And then they make a bunch of jokes, and it's all big funny, you know. So we got nobody of importance who believes so far that's come out in public that I'm aware of. Nobody as famous as some of these basketball players or these ex-porn people. I don't call them stars, but and the wrestler. See, it's nobody of importance yet, because it takes courage. It takes a certain kind of individual who's willing to lead and be out in the front and take the arrows in the chest when nobody else is going to be behind. He turns around, there's nobody behind him, it's just him. It takes a certain kind of a person, and our culture isn't like that anymore. Let's go on. I got something else here I want to show you. I went into YouTube, and I typed in here in the search bar flat earth theory, and I just typed that. Could be other flat earth, but anyway, I used the filter only this week. So this is what's being talked about this week. And first one here, Joe Rogan. He's not a flat earther, so he has Neil deGrasse Tyson on to talk about flat earth and conspiracy theories. See, they're going to tell us it's a conspiracy theory, and there's 2,600 filtered results, and only for this week. So, and it's all pretty much the basketball guys. You can see here, all right, flat earth theory debunked. So it's not pro flat earth. Illuminati wannabe, Kyrie Irving believe in the flat earth theory. So that's not going to be pro flat earth. They're controlling the opposition here. They're controlling the discussion, and they're using these men to control it. Here's one, how it got on here. Flat earth theory, no more discussion. It's flat, folks. I'm going to have to maybe go take a look at that. We got the basketball guy holding the round spear, NASA, never a straight story. What's that? The Blue Marvel. And so out of all the possible flat earth videos, it's mostly NBA now in the very top still. They're not going to take us serious. They're going to do everything they possibly can, because if this comes unraveled, they're in deep doo-doo. If people actually begin to realize that the earth is not a spinning spear and that they've been lied to by NASA since 1958, there's going to be big problems, because they're going to have to change everything, and NASA is no more. See? So they're doing everything they possibly can. And so the other day when I said the flat earth idea is going mainstream, it's because they can't contain it any longer, and they have to come out. They have to admit certain things about it. Just like Donald Trump, they have to admit certain aspects of what's going on in the country, because it's so obvious to everybody. We're not quite there yet with the flat earth thinking and belief. There's really no major Christian scientist like Kent Hovind or Hugh Ross, which I've exposed on my earlier videos. Those people are not going to come out, and they're going to wait until the last possible moment, because they're either in on the agenda and they can't talk about it, or it's good. If Ken Ross comes out now and actually admits the earth is flat and it's not spinning and everything he's an astrophysicist with a PhD. If he actually comes out and admits I've been wrong all my life. See, it's going to ruin his career. See, and that's why I always say, hey, I might be wrong. And that's why you'll never hear some of these men come out and say, you know what, I might be wrong and you might be right. Let me listen to what you have to say and let's discuss the facts and the evidence instead of attacking each other personally, which is what they do to people who believe in the flat earth. And so anyway, that's all I have. Let me check real quick to make sure that's all I have. Yeah, that's all I got, except for one more thing. I did get a reply from Mr. Kellen Brown yesterday, about an hour after I sent him a link to my video. And I'm not going to go into that right now, but for those of you who subscribe and are interested in the censorship that's taken place at the Flathead Blue Pill Beacon, got a new name for it. It's the Blue Pill Beacon. Mr. Kellen Brown obviously hasn't taken the red pill yet, and but I'm going to go into that later. I'm thinking about how to reply. It's not very long, and it's interesting, his reply. So thank you for watching. Embrace the love of the truth, and may the grace of God our Father, the creator of the level earth with a dome of some sort over it, non-spinning, level plane earth, with a sun that's within the firmament and the moon that was in the firmament, and that's very obvious that it's the sun that's moving and it's the moon that's moving, and it's apparently working with electromagnetic energy, and there's so much more there. And I can't wait till some of these real scientists that understand the creation come out and explain to us how this is all working, because they're keeping technology from us. As I mentioned in my previous video, I actually saw those two orbs when I was up at Glacier National Park in August 2010. So I saw it with my own eyes. I know they exist. They were flying at supersonic speeds, and they were doing maneuvers that cannot be done with the technology that we've been made aware of and that we use every day. We don't need to have energy from the gas tank and pay for it. It's out there and they know it. And hopefully in my lifetime that's going to come out. So thank you for watching. See ya.
It's crucial to remember that people pay more attention to your demeanor than they do your evidence.
That's right.
It's crucial to remember that people pay more attention to your demeanor than they do your evidence.
That's right.